You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and hopefully your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots is available wherever you get your podcasts, so download, subscribe, and follow to ensure that you get the latest episode as soon as it's available. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country of Sports Illustrated. So reach out to me and let me know what's on your mind on Twitter, on the Bird app, on X, whatever you want to call it, at MDABATENFL. While you're out there showing some love to Locked On Patriots social media style, please be sure to follow our account there as well at LO_Patriots. And Pats fans, today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code, all lowercase, LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. Pats fans, it's hard to believe that we've already arrived at Week 8 of the 2023 NFL season. Patriots will be traveling south to Florida for a Miami Gardens matchup against the Dolphins this Sunday, 1 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium. And of course, folks, as you can see, the legendary Conor Murphy Fisto himself, Thomas Murphy of E2G Sports, has dropped by to help turn the monster keys. And let's see if we can get the Patriots to 2 in a row, Murph. Hasn't happened in a long time, but Patriots definitely have the talent to do it, and they might be catching this Miami team at a point where they can do it. And I guess the best thing to do is to start on the offensive side of the ball. Now, Mac Jones and the Patriots offense looked more cohesive last week. They looked more comfortable. They ran the ball more effectively. We'd like to see more of the run, but they did run effectively when they did. Receivers were getting open, making plays. Well, some of them, folks. And the tight end groups definitely stepped up and made plays when they needed to. All of that facilitated by a stout performance by the offensive line, their best so far this season. But once again, my friend, you hold the keys in your hand, the monster keys to victory on offense. What do the New England Patriots need to do in order to ensure that not only is this game close on Sunday, but they put themselves in a chance to win it?
Put it bluntly, just ride the wave that they've started here with the offensive line. It's awful nice to have a professional offensive line out there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Bring your stunts, people, and see what happens this week. Bring your twists and see what happens this week. Because I've got guys standing in front of Mac Jones that are going to be able to pick that up. They're not going to be covering for the guy to the right or the guy to the left. Moving Mike Onwenu out to right tackle was a stroke of genius, a stroke of genius that was made here 3 weeks ago. Could we please move Mike Onwenu? They did it, and look what happened. Mac Jones had time to operate in the backfield. The holes were just a tad bit bigger than they were in weeks prior. Now, we talk about the Patriots and the fact that they rushed for 4 yards a carry last week. That's a little misleading. There was a 20-yard jet sweep that was thrown in there that kind of bumped things up just a little bit. But the guys Stevenson and Elliott, they both broke off a couple of really good runs last week, and I expect to see some more. It all starts there at the offensive line and keeping Mac under center and the defense guessing.
Absolutely. And that is definitely a big key, I think, for the remainder of the season for the Patriots, but especially against this Dolphins defense, because as you and I both know from watching Vic Fangio defenses throughout the years, watching what they did in the first meeting with these two teams back in week 2, especially watching what they did against the Philadelphia Eagles last week, it's blitz little, but it's playing soft coverage. But against Philly, he did send extra rushers against Jalen Hurts, and it worked. It worked to varying degrees. The pick six came on a corner blitz, but if you have a quarterback that's playing comfortable and that's playing smart football, they're going to catch on to that pretty quickly, and that's what Jalen did. Made some big plays, tried to escape the pressure. Mac doesn't necessarily have the escapability that Jalen Hurts has, but he
No,
also does have a great football IQ. And when he sees
he
things
has
coming,
right.
mhm,
He has more pocket awareness than Mills does right now. He really does. If you can give him 2 or 3 feet, a yard to step up into, if you can give him 2 feet to the right, 2 feet to the left, he's going to see what's coming and he's going to
mhm,
adjust. He's not going to break out for 45 rushing yards, but you can bet your ass he's going to break out for 8 or 10 at a clip
mhm.
and pick up that first down.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
do believe they're going to try to pressure him. I think they'll throw some
Oh,
blitzes at
sure.
him. Expect
Yep.
to see Bradley Chubb. Expect to see Jalen Phillips. You're going to hear these names on Sunday, folks, but I don't think Fangio is going to do anything over the top. I think a lot of what the Patriots are going to see from them is going to be soft coverage. So if you
Yep.
are going to be Mac Jones and the Patriots offense and Bill O'Brien, what do you do to neutralize it? I think you do a lot of the same stuff that you saw last week. Build on what the Patriots have done
That's it.
offensively for the past 2 weeks. Incorporate the inside zone into the runs.
Thank you.
Allow the Patriots to get the running game going. It worked on greater than 60% of their runs against the Raiders. Keep that up.
This is an inside zone run team. All
Right.
right, that's the dance with the guys that brung you. This is not
Right.
a get. There is not a running back here right now that is a get to the outside and pick you up 18 yards after contact.
Mhm.
Let these guys get up and in and make the guys at the second level look stupid and not have them chasing them down. You've to be the type of running offense that the Patriots need to be successful, you have to run inside the tackles. You have to
Mhm.
allow these running backs to make a move at the second level and not try to outrun somebody to a first down marker.
Right, without question. So well said. And that does open up so much, folks. Like Murph said, that middle part of the field all of a sudden becomes your playground. Matt
Yep.
can start hitting the intermediate shots in the middle part of the field by utilizing play action. The run helps facilitate that. And one thing I think that the Patriots have to do better this week than they did last week against the Bills is they have to start finding ways to generate explosive plays, especially against that Fangio defense. Hopefully, Mac's going to have more time in the pocket so he can
Right.
allow plays to develop downfield, process his reads, and be able to make those throws. Now, a lot of that is going to be determined on how healthy Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are.
Yep.
Xavier Howard is banged up a little bit. He's got the groin injury. Jalen Ramsey, we know, is going to be out there, but how effective will they be? Are they going to be at 100%? No. But will they be effective enough to
Right.
be able to neutralize what Jones wants to do downfield? If they are, that's a hell of a cornerback tandem. That may be a tough one to test, but I think the Patriots need to also mix in some 11 personnel like they did
Yep.
last week. That helped Mac get the ball going a little bit. The 2 tight end sets, we love them. The 3 tight end
Yep.
sets, we love them even more. But if you're going to try to test down the field, you need to put 3 wide out on the field at times
Right.
and test these guys. Like to see a little Tyquan Thornton mixed in this week, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As part of one of my keys this week is to ignore the dollar signs. Ignore
Mm,
the dollar signs, people.
yeah.
We don't have to have the most expensive toys out there to be successful. And yes, I do. I'm talking about, you know, Juju sitting down more. I need more Pop Douglas.
Mm.
Okay. I need more and I need less Parker. I need more Tyquan Thornton and I need less Juju. It's strike that, reverse it. Um, it's this is not going to be a game with these guys that Michael just mentioned that are going to be back in that you're going to want 50-50 balls. I want
Mm.
somebody that's going to outrun these corners that are banged up. Believe me, this is not going to want to keep up with Tyquan Thornton all day long on the outside as he
Right.
drags coverage to the end zone. I don't care if he gets I honestly, I don't care if he gets more than 3 targets the entire game. It's what he's doing when he's the first option, but the third option is the one that moves the sticks. The
Mm.
third option is when we get Tyquan Thornton and get that yak that I love so much. The second option is Pop Douglas.
Right.
And then, then we'll go back to Thornton as the third option. But no, I want to see more Thornton this week and less Parker.
Yeah, without question. I think a lot of the fan base does as well. And look, you mentioned Pop Douglas out there. He was one of the big reasons why that rushing total was up, folks. That 20-yard burst, that came from Demario Douglas. So he can be effective in so many areas of the field. And again, Murph, I think one of the best monster keys that I read from you in the last couple of weeks and continues into this week, keep your playmakers on the field.
Yep.
And Murph, that doesn't just mean offensively. It also means defensively, because the Patriots defense has some playmakers on that side of the ball, and they're going to need to step up in order to help to neutralize or at least marginally disrupt this Miami offensive juggernaut. Murph has the keys to be able to do it, and we're going to turn those defensive keys in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Pats fans, thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage, and hopefully your first listen every day. And of course, if you're listening to this throughout the weekend, don't forget, Murph and I are back here on Monday to break down all the ins and outs, the ups and downs of the Patriots matchup with the Dolphins, and submit those mailbag questions either on YouTube, put a hashtag mailbag Monday in your comments so we know you'd like to have that featured here, or send us a line on Twitter, on the Bird app, wherever you reach out to us. Our Twitter handles are right on the bottom of the screen, as you can see. We'd love to hear from you and feature your great questions on the Monday episode here on Locked On Patriots. So don't forget to stay locked in, folks. But today, Murph and I are bringing you right up to kickoff on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida, the second of two meetings between the Pats and the Fins. Murph, it's unusual. Usually we have to wait until December to finally rid ourselves of the Dolphins for this year, but schedule makers got them done and out within the month of October. So, you know what? We play when it's designed. So in that vein, you already turned some amazing monster keys on offense and basically gave us the insight, the wisdom, the counsel that the Patriots are going to need in order to be able to take it to the Dolphins and maybe reverse their fortune this time around. But we all know that whatever the Patriots do offensively may not matter much if they can't come up with stops against this potent Miami offense. One of the best in the business when they're playing their game, but Pat's actually had some success against the Dolphins in week 2, and they still have enough talent, especially at key positions, to keep things interesting on Sunday. You're the Pats defensive brain trust right now, Murph. Help us turn those defensive keys to victory for the Pats against the Dolphins this week.
Got me under pressure. We want to turn this pressure up to 11. I want this this Miami Dolphins team not knowing what's coming, where it's coming from. I want the pressure turned up, and I want this quarterback on his butt, on his backside the entire day. We all talk about how difficult it is for Mac Jones when he's under. It's difficult for everybody when they're under pressure. Help out this Patriots defensive backfield by getting in his face, getting large, getting your hands up, making him look for an alley to throw the ball into, and having somebody in that alley to pick it off.
Very good point. Very, very good point. Because if you look back at the first time that these two teams met, and I've watched that week 2 game now about 4 or 5 times this week, Murph, preparing for this matchup. And the Patriots were absolutely determined to neutralize the Dolphins' pre-snap movement, their post-snap productivity, by taking away the deep play, and they used the 3 safeties in the deep part of the field to do it. Now, those big nickel looks did work, folks. It did keep Miami from getting that big play. But where I give a tip of the cap to Mike McDaniel and that Dolphins coaching staff is They figured that out pretty quickly. Raheem Mostert all of a sudden became their focal point, and he had significant yardage on the ground. They
Fine.
found rushing success against that New England weaker box, those light boxes that you hear talked about so often. Heard Evan Lazar mention that term a lot this week from Patriots.com. That is the case, folks. That's exactly what Miami would love to do against those Patriots 3 safety looks. But in that regard, this time around, you hit the nail on the head. They have to be more aggressive, not just with Miami's line, but they have to get aggressive with the pass catchers at the line of scrimmage. They can't allow them to develop any rhythm, and that puts pressure on Tua Tagovailoa, especially in the intermediate areas of the field. All of a sudden, he's not going to be able to find those looks if the Patriots are physical with his receivers. Tua is so rhythm-based and timing-based that if he finds that rhythm, he's one of the best in the league at being able to complete and move his team. He's going to do what he needs to do to win. But if you confuse him, like Murph said, and you keep him off balance and he doesn't know what's coming, I think that may be the real key for the Patriots defense this week, much more so than we saw in week 2.
Right. Much more so. Tua was 21 of 30 for 250 yards, the touchdown and the pick. That pick was so important that week, and it's going to be even more important this week, is to win that turnover battle. It's in my keys every single week. But Mike's right, it's not just physicality at the in the trenches. This is that basically how you beat Miami, is being physical in the trenches. But you have to get physical on the outside too. You can't let these receivers get into a rhythm with their quarterback, get him off his mark, and make Tua have to search for people. The last thing Mike mentioned this, and I got to tip my cap to Phil Perry, who after the week 1 loss mentioned some suspect movement from Miami. Okay, it's a little illegal when you're sending you're putting receivers in motion, and you're not supposed to go towards the line of scrimmage, folks. You're not supposed to go towards the line of scrimmage. And it seemed like Miami was doing that the entire game with everybody that they had. They were leaning in towards that line of scrimmage. I'd like to see the refs do a little bit better of a job with illegal motion, because that's illegal motion.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they call that, especially if the Patriots do show those 3 safety umbrella looks at times. And look, folks, I do think you're going to see a few of them this weekend. I don't think the Patriots are going to be as reliant as they were early on and tip their hand, but I still think you may see them from time to time. I think it's an effective way of trying to deal with people like Tyreek Hill, fast, speedy wide receivers. Even Jalen Waddle can get out there and he can ball as well. So, and that actually leads me quite nicely into my final question for you on the defensive side of the ball, my friend, before we turn this into Monster Keys and game predictions. We heard some rumblings about Tyreek Hill this week and his health and whether or not he was going to go. He was on the field. By all accounts, he looked great yesterday. I don't expect him to be hampered in the least. Jase Jackson wasn't falling for the bait. He says, we're predicting and we're preparing as if he's going to be at 100% full strength, and that's how we're going to do it. Murph, there's a little extra attitude in the Patriots locker room. It is thanks to guys like Jase Jackson and Jack Jones that feel very confident in their physical nature of the way they play the game. To be able to take it to these guys. I think another big key for this in terms of trying to contain Tyreek is Jonathan Jones being back. In 6 games against Jonathan Jones, we talked about this last time, 147 total yards with a touchdown. Jonathan has the ability to hang with Tyreek Hill, and if he's got help from competent ball-hawking corners, like a Jase Jackson, like a Jack Jones, it may make that job a little bit easier. Do you think the Patriots are better suited this time to defend Tyreek, even without Christian Gonzalez, or is this still a problematic matchup for the Pats?
Christian Gonzalez was getting by and getting ahead with his with his skill set. Okay, he is just so gifted of an athlete, and he understands this game so well. What Hill is going to face this week with Jase Jackson is somebody that's going to be able to hang with him the entire time. And then, as we mentioned, my man Jack is going to be there for the pick. Okay, I tweeted out yesterday. There's talking about how Hill is healthy, and he's going to be there on Sunday. Don't worry about anything. They better worry about something, because Jack is back. Okay, and he's ready to attack, and that's what he does. Jack Jones is a playmaker. Jack Jones is a ball hawk. Jack Jones is somebody who likes the camera on him, and he knows how to get that.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's by picking off opposing quarterbacks when they underthrow things. They're going to sit there, and Hill is going to get his, but it's not. He's not gonna get home. He's not gonna get home this week. You know, Bill is going to make sure that doesn't happen. You're going to have to. The Dolphins are going to end up having to win this game somewhere else.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think with the secondary taking on a little bit more of a physical type aggressive approach since Jackson coming back does fit into the system that the Patriots want to use right now with Jackson and with Jack Jones. You look at the hard-hitting style of guys like Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar when he's in coverage as well.
This is back. This is a throwback defensive backfield. Once you remove Gonzalez from it, you know, this is basically they're not Tide Law and Lawyer Malloy, but they're the closest thing that you're going to get to it with physicality.
Absolutely. It is, and it definitely is. And you know what, Murph? Bottom line, this New England Patriots team has the personnel, and they also have the game planning capabilities. We saw that last week to hang with any team in the NFL. And will they be able to do it in what is typically a very difficult place for the Patriots to play, but not impossible for them to grab a win down there? I think Murph has turned enough keys here today to give you at least some optimism heading into this matchup. However, the key has not been turned just yet, and Murph is going to do that and let you know how the New England Patriots gained the victory in Miami this weekend. And we're also going to give our game predictions as we get you ready for kickoff. More with Murph's Monster Keys in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, football season is here, and there is no better time to use PrizePicks, the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. In fact, they're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including all those pros and those sharks out there, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Here's the best part, folks. Listen up. You're going to love this. With PrizePicks reboot policy, your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured, for NFL games and for college football top 25 matchups. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. And PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance. And if you're a Patriots fan or even a Dolphins fan, you know how valuable injury insurance can be. So don't delay, do it today. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL and use the promo code LockedOnNFL for a first deposit match up to $100. That's a first deposit match up to $100 by going to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. And don't forget to use the promo code LockedOnNFL. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Patriots fans, Sunday is game day, and the only thing just as important as cheering on your favorite team in Foxborough is making sure your game day table is well stocked. Why root for your team on an empty stomach? Order on DoorDash and save on all of your football watch party favorites. All of your favorite restaurants and stores, from retail to grocery, guess what? They're all on the app, so you can shop everything you need to get game day ready. You can even get prepared before game day. Stock up on all of your favorite appetizers. Order all of your favorite tailgate gear right on DoorDash, and then get ready to watch the Pats squish the fish. For me, nothing says game day like a little New England clam chowder. And great news, the best chowder in the business from Legal Seafoods is available right on DoorDash. It can be delivered right to your door just in time for kickoff. And if you act now, you can get 50% off up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. That's when you download the DoorDash app and enter the code LOCKED23. That's subject to change and terms do apply. So don't delay and do it today. And don't forget to use the code LOCK23 for 50% off up to a $10 value on your first order when you download the DoorDash app and spend $15 or more. Subject to change, terms apply. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots. It's been a blast on this weekend episode here of Locked On Patriots, getting you ready for Sunday's 1 p.m. kickoff from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. The Pats and the Dolphins. Dolphins looking to move to 6-2 and take a commanding lead in the AFC East, but the New England Patriots are looking to move to 3-5 and hopefully a little more respectability in this division. Who knows? A win this weekend could change so much for the complexity of the New England Patriots. And with the trade deadline coming up next week, Murph, going to be all that much more interesting. So a lot to watch for this weekend. Already, Murph has broken the wisdom and counsel meter off the charts with excellent monster keys on offense and on defense to be able to take it to the Miami Dolphins. But the key has yet to be turned. Murph knows exactly how this team can be victorious over the Dolphins on Sunday. You always come up with a secret key, like an underlying hidden monster key. That's an exclusive here to Locked On Patriots. Murph, what is your ultimate monster key to victory for the New England Patriots against the Dolphins this weekend?
Third down running back, Pop Douglas. Pop Douglas. I want to see Pop Douglas in the backfield. I want to see him catching passes out of the backfield. All right, that's the key. All right, this kid is the ultimate playmaker on this team. It's time to start using him like that. It's time to start moving him around more like that. Put him back there all by himself. I don't need to see anybody else. Do a direct snap to him. I don't care. All right, let's get the kid involved. That's the secret key that you're not going to read when you go over to e2gsports.com today. That's the one that everybody who's just going to read and is missing this show is going to miss out on. And you guys are all going to sit there and hit me up on Twitter and on Sunday and say, "Damn, Murph, you were right."
Absolutely. You know what? Hashtag Murph was right, folks. If you're watching the game and you see that key turned, let us know in the YouTube section because we want to know. We've got a number of all of you great everydayers out there that support Locked On Patriots. Murph and I cannot provide enough appreciation in return for all the support you give us, but we try to by giving you the best show we possibly can each and every day. But I cannot agree with you more. I think that by doing so and by incorporating that type of, and I don't want to say trickery because that's not what it is. It is strategic in the way in the way the Patriots are going to deploy it. But DeMario is such an explosive playmaker, and he can be used in so many different ways. Yep. It's almost criminal if they don't decide to try to use it to their advantage. So absolutely, folks, keep a sharp eye on Pop Douglas this weekend. And I have a key of my own that I'd like to throw into the mix. If New England is going to have any success against Miami this weekend, they have to win their battles up front. And to me, that is the ultimate sign of this team's growth if they're winning their battles up front. That includes offense and on defense. We talked earlier, Murph, about how Raheem Mostert hurt this team in week 2 on the ground. The Pats' run defense is much improved. Guys like Devon Godchow, Lawrence Guy, they're picking up the slack from a slow start, and I think they're doing a much better job of keeping running games intact.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if that defensive front can be successful in stopping this Miami running game, or at least keeping it in check, that's going to allow the Patriots to deploy their pass rush. And they might have a few more weapons coming back this week. According to what we're seeing on the practice fields, Josh Uche, Keon White, trending in the right direction. I'm not saying either one of them are going to suit up, but they've been on the practice field, so keep a sharp eye from that. But Anthony Jennings, I thought, has performed very well in Matthew Judon's absence. So if that's going to be the case, Judon's going to get after the quarterback. Christian Barmore is going to be heavily involved in the Patriots pass rush. If they can keep, again, like Murph said to open the show today, Tua Tagovailoa off rhythm and they keep him guessing, at that point, anything's possible with this defense. So it all starts with winning your battles up front, and then you can try to take away what Miami does best, and that's hit their pass targets in rhythm. And if you break that rhythm, I think you've got a shot. On offense, same thing. Michael Wainu, like Murph said, keep him at right tackle, folks. He's a great fit there. It really provides a lot of stability to this offensive line. It's been their most effective line to date, with Sidiso coming in and playing right guard. He was rated an 86.4 by Pro Football Focus. That's the second highest of all guards in Week 7. Yep. Tip of the cap to City. Great job there with the job that he did. Cole Strange back in the lineup. It gives Mac adequate time to process his reads. He can make his throws. And if that's the case, folks, then look for the New England Patriots to at least keep things interesting at Hard Rock Stadium this Sunday. So, Murph, we've arrived at game prediction time. I'm not going to put you completely on the hot seat and force you to make a score prediction, which by all means, if you'd like to, you can. But how do you see this one playing out on Sunday? Can the Patriots keep it going, or does Miami provide a block to some of the era of good feelings that the Patriots have had?
The Patriots can definitely keep it going. As you said, the things up front have gotten better and better on both sides of the ball, and that's where you win a game against this Miami Dolphins team. It's in the trenches. You have to win the trenches to win this game. You have to stuff the run. You cannot give Mostert any yards after contact. Wrap him up and get him down. But no, I do believe that the Patriots can keep up with this team, because what I think we're going to see is a lot of the same stuff that we saw in game 1, people, where the Patriots are begging them to take the under stuff. Go ahead and drive your entire way down the field. You're not going to get those quick scores. We're not going to give them to you. And on the other side of the ball, I think the Patriots are coming into their own. I think, Mac is starting to feel like himself again. He's got the time back there. He's able to move around in the pocket and manipulate his way into first downs. The Patriots are going to keep doing that. Don't forget the secret key either. That's going to be a big thing. But on the other side of the Patriots are finally going to get the turnover machine going, get the turnover chain out, for lack of a better term, and get into the end zone there. I think that they're more than able to do that against this team. I don't care who's out there for Miami. Power beats speed. Okay. Power beats speed. I'm sorry. I know everybody says that speed kills, but you hit guys in the jaw and watch them not get up. I've seen it time and time again, especially with the Patriots defense against Tyreek Hill. He doesn't get it done because Bill is just smarter. He tells these guys to go out there, get on his hip, make him uncomfortable, hit him at the line of scrimmage. Patriots come out on top of this one, 28-18.
Ooh. I like it. A lot of confidence coming from Murph on that side of the screen, folks.
I think that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think the New England Patriots take a page out of the old Cobra Kai playbook this week, Murph. Strike first, strike hard, show no mercy. And that's the key. They need to get out to a fast start. They put Buffalo on their heels last week. They came out with a mission of, we're not going to fall behind. We're not going to take bad penalties. We're not going to put a lot of self-inflicted difficulty on our shoulders before we've had the opportunity to set our game plan, and it worked. Even though the first drive resulted in a field goal, it put points on the board. It allowed the Patriots to play a little more confidently, knowing that they were in a lead. No matter how small the lead, they were in a lead. And this is a different team when they play from in front than when a team plays from behind. So that's going to be a key, and I completely agree with you. You got to be physical, and you have to keep that, especially Miami offense, feeling uncomfortable for much of the day. Try to force turnovers on defense, and Patriots are still getting penalized at an alarming rate. That's something that has to be cleaned up this week, folks. We need to keep the penalties down to a minimum, and I know the Pats coaching staff has been really working that point hard. We talked to the assistants earlier this week, and that was one of the things that came up routinely. No self-inflicted problems. You need to make sure that you're clean with the football. Yeah, and you need to make sure that you're playing smart football.
Okay, I said it last week when it happened. I might be okay with this in the first quarter. I'm sure as hell not okay with it in the fourth. But I know how tempting it is to go in there and hit a QB as hard as you can, but you can't. You just can't do that anymore. You just can't come down on them with the full weight. Make sure that you're making the proper hits and that you're not costing this team first downs and 15 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff, Murph. And you know what? Hopefully from our lips to God's ears, my prediction for this game, folks, I think the Patriots are going to take this one 27-24. Miami is still going to get their points, at least in my estimation, but I think this Patriots offense is much better suited to play against the defensive strengths of Miami. Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey being at less than 100% is something that I think the Patriots can exploit a little bit this week.
Yeah.
And I think they do that just enough to find the end zone just a little more than the Miami Dolphins do. And who knows, maybe it comes down to Chad Ryland's leg to bring this one a victory. Be a nice little boost for the kid that started off a little shaky, but he looked really good last week.
And it didn't hurt that I ordered a little warm weather this week for the guys to work out in before they head down there to that swamp. Go read the keys, and it's all there. Oh God, I hate it.
So I'm assuming that we're not going to see Miami Murph anytime soon.
No. You could not pay me. No, I hate Art Deco. I hate what they did to Art Deco. Okay, I like New York Art Deco. I can't stand Miami Art Deco.
What about the no socks with the topsiders, man? You're gonna start wearing the crushed white suit? I think I've made Murph Monster mad, folks. On that note, folks, we hope you enjoyed our week's coverage here of Dolphins Week. We are out of Dolphins weeks here on Locked On Patriots, but the good news is that there are still 9 more games on the Patriots schedule, and it's going to be a lot of fun to break them all down with all of you. So if you are an everydayer, please continue to stick with us. We appreciate you more than words can say. If you're a casual listener or a first-timer, hopefully some of the bad jokes that Murph and I told or some of the incredible insight that this man has provided today and a couple of tidbits that I'll throw in every now and then are enough to keep you coming back. Good, better, and different. We want to hear what your thoughts are. So please let us know in the comments sections or reach out to us on social media, especially on X or the Bird app or Twitter. We love to hear from you. And Murph, what can I say? You're always there for the handoff, my friend. I appreciate you. You truly are family and the Don of Locked On Patriots. So before I let you go, please let everyone know where they can reach out to you and what you have coming from the great voice, the great pen of Thomas Murphy over the course of the next few days.
Well, of course, you got all the Red Sox coverage that you can take from me over there at e2gsports.com. I've got a couple of Patriot-centric columns going up this weekend. And, of course, the keys are happening. I especially want to send a thanks out to the folks that not just watch every week on YouTube, but the guys that listen and download wherever you're getting your podcast. And those numbers are fantastic, and we really appreciate you too. So hit us up on the Bird app, either at MD NFL or at TMurph207. Get those questions in for Monday.
Definitely, folks. Absolutely. We can't wait to hear your questions and have those featured on Mailbag Monday, which is definitely a big part of our post-game coverage here on Locked On Patriots. And Murph, it's going to be a fun one this weekend. I wish you a great weekend. Enjoy the game. I know the surroundings are not exactly your thing, but I know anytime the Pats go down to face those aquamarine uniforms, you're going to be waving the Patriots flag up here in New England, and hopefully they can come back with a victory. But don't want to bring things down too much, folks, but I would be remiss if we didn't close out today's episode by offering our, again, condolences, our best wishes, and just thoughts of comfort during such a difficult time for all of our brethren up in Lewiston, Maine. New Englanders are a family, and it's always difficult when a community that you've either been to or you know well or is so close to your home is hit by such a horrific and shocking tragedy. Right. That happened earlier this week on Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. And I know it's a scary time and a very somber time for all of you out there, but we at Locked On Patriots offer our sincere best wishes. Our hearts are with you. Our thoughts are with you. And we will continue to be here for you in any way that we possibly can. And we offer our prayers for a swift and justified finish to all of this.
Right.
So that way the other families that are grieving right now can find some closure.
Not to get political here. That's not what we do. Just we need to stop this madness, folks. Yeah. We really need to stop this madness so that we're not doing shows like this. So parents aren't waking up without their children, wives without their husbands, and husbands without their wives. And I'm gonna get a little misty here, so I'm just gonna stop. This hits really close to home. It's really difficult to put into words the fear that you have for your family and especially your kids when they walk out that door. And I live 20 minutes from Sandy Hook, Connecticut, and like I said, my son was just in Maine over the weekend. Please stop, please.
It's true. It really is true, folks. And I've had the great fortune, and this show has had the great fortune, Murph, both you and I, to have such amazing support from the state of Maine. Whether
Right.
it be from doing news shots on News Center Maine, my tenure here on Locked On
Yep.
Patriots, to joining ESPN Radio in Bangor to
Yeah.
provide my insight. You all have been such an amazing support for me. Murph did put it very well. New Englanders band together in matters of this type, and we are a close-knit family. So the chances of being directly affected of this by all New England Patriots fans out there and all New Englanders is very high. And that's why we remain a family. So just know that Locked On Patriots is with you and just wishing you thoughts of comfort during
Right.
what I'm sure is a very, very difficult time for so many right now in Maine.
It really is. Thank you, folks, for letting us ramble a little bit. All the best out to Tom Karen from Nesson, who is a
Mhm.
Lewiston native, and
Mhm.
I'm sure that he has friends that have been affected by this a great deal more than we have.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. And on that note, there is a game to be played on Sunday, and the New England Patriots will be taking the field with all of us here in New England in their hearts and on their minds. But we hope that the game gives you at least a little bit of distraction for even a small period of time. It's something that we all need after a very difficult week here in the region. So, on behalf of my good friend, the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2Gsports.com, I'm Mike Debate, reminding you to stay safe and to stay well as possible. And folks, to be the change you wish to see in the world, and I think that statement means more now than it
Yeah.
has in quite some time. Please, folks, take care of one another. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you back here again on Monday on Locked On Patriots.